Alrighty, welcome back to another video. So, new goblins are out, and it's kind of funny. This is the second time they're doing this. I'm not sure if the first time it happened, the first time the goblins came out, I don't think there was such an issue on this. Or was it even the second time it didn't really happen? So the last time when Fizz Coil came out, which was about 2 months ago, or was it last month? Fizz Coil was not in the beta as far as people could tell, and I think they did release him together with another new hero that I don't remember. So that provided a lot of I would say, people were a bit stunned because, I mean, if you have a hero that's not in the beta, it means that players have not tested it out, and you won't know for sure. It's a roll of a dice whether or not this hero will be good or this hero will be unhealthy for the meta, or what's going to happen with these sort of heroes. I mean, when they released Star Walker, it was people could test him out, and people did say that it was crazy, and then the stats kind of changed, which made Star Walker even crazier. Fizzcoil was kind of like a, hey, let me just slap Fizzcoil right there and let's see what you guys what you guys think about this hero. And it turned out to be one of the really I would say it's not really backbreaking. It didn't really destroy anything, but it made defenses really, really annoying because there are no direct counters to Wither unless you have growth in your team, a hero that gives growth in your team. So for example, like Dark Feather or something like that. So hold on to your seats, because they did it once, and now they're going to do it the second time. So these are two new goblins that just came out. Now Leafwhisk was there in the beta, people could see it. I'm not sure if they changed it. I haven't looked at the stats right as clearly as I had. But Acidfire, it's a goblin that no one saw coming. And let me just tell you, Acidfire, I think the moment it came out, I think there were quite a few people who got Acidfire almost immediately. I mean, from my, to put it in perspective, the new portal opened yesterday at my time at 3 p.m. my time, and at 3:05, or was it? Yeah, somewhere within 5 minutes upon opening the portal, I'm in quite a few line groups, and immediately people were pulling for Acidfire, and I was wondering what the heck was so good about this guy. So let's look at Leafwhisk first, which is the one that we know from the beta, that was leaked from the beta, which means players have already tested him and have decided, it's kind of okay to bring him out. I mean, sure, SG, I don't know how much you listen to your beta players, but okay, fine, sure. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that, you have heard at least some feedback from your beta players. So anyways, Leafwhisk is a green paladin. So all goblin families have this bonus where for 1, 2, or 3 goblin heroes on your defense or offense, each time this hero takes damage from an enemy's special skill, it removes 50, 75, or 100% boosted health from all enemies. So what the goblin aims to do for this is you kind of reduce, as long as you have a goblin in your offense or defense, the opposing side does not get to have that much of sustained prolonged sustenance of boosted health, and they're really trying to remove the fact that boosted health has been continuing to kind of prolong games and prolong times between matches. And I guess the goblins are here to say, no, as long as you hit me, I'm going to reduce some of your boosted health. They also have this passive effects on special skill: 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill. Deals 90% damage to all enemies. All enemies get negative 25% accuracy for 3 turns. This can be pretty good, especially on goblins that already deal damage. You deal an extra 90% damage, and you get them to have negative accuracy for 3 turns, which can be pretty backbreaking, especially if you're in a crucial situation where you're facing a goblin and someone, for example, like Fizzcoil does damage to you. You kind of want to either retaliate back, but you can't, because if that triggers, that 50% chance to trigger this blind, you more or less have this self-doubt when you're trying to use your offensive special skills, because you're always worried about the fact that they might miss. So let's look at this special skill here. Flute of Enchantment, average speed, growth. All allies get 355 defense. Now, in case you're not sure what growth and wither is, growth essentially improves the stats, the innate ability scores of your stats for your allies, while wither reduces the ability score, the innate stats that are on the opposing side. So here, 355 defense, it is not 355%, it is 355 value added to your shield stats. So in this case, if you look at this, Leafwhisk is 1,399 shield. If you give 355 defense, that makes him go up to 1,754 defense. Now, obviously, that changes along with troops and all that, but they do say that modified ability scores can be increased to a maximum of 170%, only up to a maximum of 170%, and can't be reduced to lower than 30% of their original value. And then other buffs and debuffs are applied to modified ability scores. However, I do believe damage over time does not. And then this effect is less effective when activated by monsters and bosses. So it's just basically for PvE situations. So, and do remember, even if they die, and if you revive them, the wither and growth stats remain on this hero, and at the same time, equalizer does not remove growth or wither, which I do believe people have a lot of problems with it, but it's part of the game. Get used to it. So growth, all allies get 355 defense. Summons a spotted boar mega minion with 65% HP and 210% attack inherited from the caster. When summoned, the spotted boar mega minion gives its owner immunity to buff dispels and reallocations for as long as the owner has a spotted boar mega minion. Now, mega minions, they replace all existing minions and fiends. Additional minions or fiends can't replace mega minions. Effects that destroy minions instead deal damage equal to 50% of the mega minion's max health, and any other effects affecting minions won't affect mega minions. So they're trying to introduce this new mega minion. This is I do believe this is the third or fourth hero with mega minions on. Personally, I think there's nothing too concerning about these mega minions. I mean, sure, they deal quite a bit of damage. 210% attack is pretty high. I think it's north of about I think you deal about 300 damage, I think, somewhere around there. Yeah, I think it's about 300 damage, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, not really that concerning. Now, what do I think about this hero? So first of all, the thing that you'll notice about this is he's more of a support with a pretty fat minion as a tank. 65% HP, so that's about 1,400 HP on this minion, which means you can absorb, on him. That makes him, realistically, on facing him, you probably need to deal about 3,600 to 700 health, effective health against Leafwhisk if he fires his special skill. And you need 2 instances of minion destroying in order to get rid of the mega minion. I'm not a fan of Leafwhisk the same way I'm not a fan of Boom and Fang. I feel like they need to have damage on them to be a little bit more relevant, or at least something that helps out, like in a way, something that helps out the team a bit more. So if you look at Leafwhisk like this, I mean growth, all allies get 355 defense, that's fine, but right now in this current state of the game where, everything just hits so hard, I don't think that 355 defense matters too much. Like, it would be different if, say, he fires 2 or 3 times, and at the same time you have another goblin that deals that much more wither on your opponents, then yeah, sure, that's really good. But if you look at, if you compare Leafwhisk to, say, for example, Boom and Fang, for example. Now, Boom and Fang is just, well, if you hit him, you get back, you counter attack for 100%. That's decent again. But again, if I'm not summoning this mega minion, then he's just not doing anything, and if you do summon it, it's first of all average speed. Leafwhisk is also average speed. If you summon it, I can take my time to kind of kill everybody else before I kill you, before I deal with you. And you know, a lot of heroes right now, they do have this, I would say, the minion killers, the ones that you bring against this guy. For example, Ruffian and Nurgib, you don't get, you know, it's a very passive kind of, I would say, very passive, no damage kind of minion removal. Ojima doesn't deal that much of damage now, so you're not going to kill them, and you're also going to be, if you're going to put this on defense, you're going to know that, you know, no one's going to aim snipers at, you know, Boom and Fang, you know, for him to be, you know, pretty much relevant. So, but Leafwhisk, at least the thing about Leafwhisk is that he does give all allies 355 defense, but other than that, I just wish he was a bit faster. Like if it was fast speed, sure, you know, but not really a fan. Now the other one, Acidfire, 5-star purple sorcerer, same family bonus, same passive, attack up, double limit break. Oh, I should emphasize that this one has defense up as well, so he can be, you know, if you put him as a tank, probably, you know, it's probably worth something, I don't know. But Acidfire, attack up with that insane attack stat, very good defense stat, decent health, poisonous miss, fast speed, deals 355% damage to a target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get negative 225 attack and negative 225 defense. This is the Wither we were talking about just now. The target and nearby enemies reflect status effect buffs to a random character on the opposing team for 3 turns. Does this sound familiar to you? Now, let's compare Acidfire with something similar, something fast that deals, that hits 3. Okay, so let's look at, oops, oh my god, all the deals. Let's look at El Nadaha. So El Nadaha deals 305% damage to a target nearby enemies. There's a whole 50% reduction. Also the attack stat, I mean, sure, this is, let me just find the one. Okay, so 1060 at first limit break. Second limit break, you get about, I think it's about 7% or something like that. So it's not going to reach 1300. I do believe. Yeah, so it's 1111, and its damage reduction is not even a relevant offensive stat change to double limit alpha power. It's not even relevant to the attack stat. And you compare that, and that's El Nadaha. So let me look at, so I don't have any one of the newer ones. I mean, I do have that lizard, which I think, let's look at the lizard. Where's the lizard? Do I have the lizard? Stain tongue. So, oh damn it, I don't actually know the full stats. I don't remember the full stats of Stain Tongue, but him being a paladin means he's not going to have that much of attacks bonuses as well. The other one is Mistweaver. Let me see if, hopefully he puts Mistweaver in. No, he does not. So Mistweaver, I think also, it's not, if I remember correctly, it's not 355%. I'm not entirely sure. You know, I can potentially pull it up. I'm not sure if I can just pull it out. Hold on. This is what happens when you try to do a video and you don't have everything prepared. So Stain Tongue is 330% damage hit tree. So that's Stain Tongue. And if you look at Mistweaver is 350%. Okay, so thank God that we have good interwebs. So if you compare Acidfire to, say, the green, which is primarily having the most amount of hit trees, I would think, So Mistweaver is 350% with a base limit break, first limit break at about 1,000 sword. So if you have double limit break, I would say you will probably reach about 1,100 again, 1,100 or 1,002, which is nowhere near Acidfire's range of damage that you can output here. And even if you compare Roz, for example, I think Roz you require 6 green tiles to be on the board in order for her to deal 530% damage to 3. And that's with 1,200. So I think that Roz will have a slightly higher damage output. But can you imagine it being on a purple hero, especially when you have heroes like Guardian Panther, which, if you use the original side, the regular side for Guardian Panther, which deals, if I'm not mistaken, I can just pull it up again. Hail interwebs. So Guardian Panther, if I'm not mistaken, is negative 55% elemental, negative 54% defense against dark, and you use Acidfire right after that. That's gonna hurt like hell. And remember that Guardian Panther did receive a buff in terms of stats because they did buff the costume bonus. So if you have Guardian Panther, the costume for Guardian Panther, and you use the regular side, so that you can pair it as a hit tree together with Acidfire, and you give an additional really high elemental defense against dark, as opposed to the costume side, which only has negative 34. You give it negative 54% defense against dark. Acidfire is going to hit like hell. And not only that, if they somehow survive, they are not going to give any buffs to any of their heroes. And remember, the target and nearby enemies reflect status effect buffs to a random character on the opposing team for 3 turns. That means whatever buffs they try to give, for example, you can hit like a Luna, for example. And remember, if you're pairing this with Guardian Panther, if Luna doesn't die from this, and Luna somehow fires, you're going to get her buffs in first. And then she's going to die probably to the next tile damage that hits her, or some adverse effect that kind of hits her. Acidfire is crazy strong. And I think it's one of the fast hit trees that purple has to offer. If you notice, like the trend mostly for purple actually is mostly average speed. If you take a look, I do have the top 3 purple hit trees in the game right now. So you have Phantom of the Opera, which deals 405% damage, which is 50% higher than Acidfire, but at average speed. So that's one whole match more than Acidfire, because Acidfire you can get it down to 7. Phantom of the Opera, with the bard and everything, is 8. And while you can achieve 7 pretty easily with a dragon and a normal match, two dragons to get 8 tiles is pretty, it's not common to happen all the time. So in general cases, you will most likely get 1 dragon and potentially having to do one dragon, 1 normal, and then popping dragon, or 3 normal matches. And yeah, that slows down the game for average speeds pretty much, because sometimes waiting for that 3rd match can be a killer. So Phantom of the Opera here is 405%. You have Aramis, which is 375% at average speed, and then Hurricane, which is 410%. But notice that none of their stats. See, I have Hurricane at double limit break is 1247 with a correct relevant attack up, alpha power. Aramis is 1213 with heal increase, doesn't matter for this, but at a much lower percentage. And then you have Phantom of the Opera, which is 405%. I think if you limit break this 1086, and then you get like further, probably goes up to like 1002 at best. It's nowhere near how strong it is on Acidfire, because Acidfire is fast. And fast speeds right now in the game is all about using fast speed. Sure, the game has slowed down a little bit because the tanks are mostly heroes that you can dump tiles on, but it's always better to have fast speed heroes as opposed to average, because of how quick things can turn against you if you don't get rid of the defense as soon as possible. So really, Acidfire, I think Acidfire, now again, I'm going to emphasize, he's probably not going to break the game because you're not going to see him on defense a lot. I would think. Like, if you put Acidfire on defense, usually what you want to put on defense is someone that can hit all. And in this case, you would rather use Fist Coil. You would rather use Fist Coil on this just because, he hits all and he has the same Wither and a relevant negative 30% mana generation, which kind of slows down the defense. But on Acidfire on offense, if you compare this together with a Guardian Panther, not even okay, let's not even consider Guardian Panther. Let's consider something like using him on his own. If you use Acidfire just on his own because he does deal some sort of negative defense as well. So you can use Acidfire together with other fast speed heroes, like for example, you can use it with Farah if you have her. You can use her with Narcissa. You also can use her with, I'm trying to think of any other purple fast speed heroes. It's not coming to mind right now. Even like Bastet, for example. Yeah, so Bastet is going to hit extra hard, for example. So that makes Acidfire really, really, broken in some ways, just because of how strong the stats is. And remember, this was not shown in the beta. So I guess when, what SG is trying to do is trying to milk this Goblin portal as much as they can, because first of all, the odds for getting a Goblin is very small, 0.4% and 0.5% for non-featured. The chance for 2, yes, sure, but you're going to have to deal with those odds. And what they want is probably to get people to pull as much as they can, because all of these Goblins, aside from the ones that create Mega Minions, are pretty relevant. I mean, Smart Tongue is really good. I have a Smart Tongue double limit bro, which is really good as well. Fist Coil is really strong. Deadwood, the Wither is crazy, negative 300 defense. Kettle, I mean, I've lost to a Kettle once, so I'm not going to say much. Dark Feather has been the meta for Mythic Titans and whatnot, and even really strong on wars as well as on war defense, mind you. Mad Hammer, I would think, is one of the best Mega Minion summoners right now, just because she deals a bucket load of damage as well. Boomerang not so much, and even Goldie and Boots are pretty good, 4 stars and 3 stars as well. So I guess they're really trying to milk this Goblin summons thing before they go away, and probably the game has to shut down just because it's accelerating too fast for people to cope up. I don't know. But we do have one pool here, and I'm not going to hope for anything much. We're just going to do the customary one pool. This has been a very long video of me probably just ranting, and probably just me breaking down 2 heroes. But yeah, we're just going to do that one pool. I am currently on a not to say no spend, probably on a, I try not to spend on this game anymore, because maybe I'm saving up for something big, who knows. But anyways, we'll just do one pool here. For those who have done their pulls, congrats on getting Acidfire. If you do, good luck in your pulls. If you have not done it, the Goblin summon, I think, is still around for a couple of days. And do remember to finish the event so you get some coins to summon as well. And let's see what we can get. Bull Tusk. Well, color's the same as a Goblin, so whatever. Alright, that's gonna be it for me on this video. Good luck with your summons. Stay safe. COVID's coming up again, so remember to keep safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. GG.